right, welcome Tegan. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Tegan. I'm in film at Freestyle, and today I'm going to be talking about my Zenith project, which, oh wait, I need a clicker. Okay. And for my project, I wanted to do a dance video, which is something I never tried. If you remember my explorations, I did a music video, so it's like kind of similar, but I wanted to try dance. So here are the steps that I took. First was picking a song. I paid attention to like how it sounded, if it was cinematic, and then I paid attention to the lyrics. Then I wrote a story based on the lyrics, found the aesthetic, found the dancers, location, rehearsed with them, and then I picked out equipment because the way I shot it was really particular, so I needed like the stabilizer and stuff, and then I edited it. Okay, to pick the song, I made a very long playlist, and here's some of the songs that I was deciding on. But I chose Go Home by Angel Olsen, and I actually reached out to her for copyright. She hasn't replied, but I thought I'd do that. And based on the lyrics of that song, you'll hear in a little bit, I wrote a story about like a main character, and this is pre-production. So I was really adamant that I wanted it to be a golden hour, like in a field, and everyone's in like flowy white skirts so that the light kind of shines through it, which actually worked out pretty well. So Pinterest was my best friend along this process, and so you can see I have boards of like the cinematography, the costumes, and like here's some inspiration. And then it was the screenplay. There was no dialogue because it's dance, but I wrote kind of what the scenes would look like, describing the camera movement, what I'd focus on, locations, anything. I had it on set. It wasn't that useful, but it was good to get like all the ideas out. So yeah, this was the screenplay. And then it was storyboarding. Again, it changed a little bit. At first I wanted one dancer, and then I got a group of dancers, so this was the original storyboard, which is cool. You can kind of see where my head was at while I was planning it, but it's not really what the final product looks like. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about the story, actually, because it's not obvious, but there's a main character who's, if you listen to the lyrics, she's trying to go home and find her own independence, but these people are pulling her back into familiarity in a way, and trying to stop her from growing. And in the end, she doesn't succeed, and she ends up falling back into her old ways in a way. Okay, so the dancers, I'm sure you guys are familiar with Dance Spectrum. They're so talented. I don't know where Mia is, but she's like the leader of them all, but she's so good. And I picked out a few of the dancers that were willing to be a part of this. Their schedule was really like busy, so it was hard to work with all of them, but we rehearsed until like 10 p.m. some nights, and yeah, it was worth it. It was just a lot of work to get all the dancers together. Yeah, this was us rehearsing. And the lead choreographer, Morgan, she worked really close with me on making sure that the movements followed along with the story, and just that they were able to do it in long skirts. That was kind of a problem too, but it worked out. And then I just included this, in case you guys are curious. This is some of the music videos or dance videos that I was inspired by. Something to note is that they're all one shot. This one down here is actually an animation that Mr. Taylor showed me. His friend worked on it, I'm pretty sure, which is really cool. And this is back on 74. It's all one shot. And yeah, that's the inspiration. And there's filming. So CJ and Ethan were there for this. We were pressed for time. Like, the sun was setting. Like, it was, I wanted it to be golden hour, but they were still kind of practicing. Someone left their costume at home. There was a whole thing. And we ended up chopping grass down so that they wouldn't like get it up their skirts. But the filming was the hardest part, I'd say, just because like stress levels were high. It was totally worth it, and it was all one take, so there's no cuts. I would change maybe a few things, but I can talk about that later. But yeah, it was all one shot. You could see like they were beautiful in the skirt and stuff, so it looked good. And then, oh yeah, okay, here are the results. So I really hope you guys enjoy.
The world is changing. You can't rehearse it. That's how you show me. Baby, we're in. I wanna go home. Go close now, walking those old scenes.
So yeah, that's the final product. There are some things I might change, but yeah. Any questions? Oh, I can't really see you.
Oh, over here, yeah. Oh, hi, Tegan. What was the most rewarding part?
Editing it, because the pre-production dragged on for so long that I got in my head and was like, it's not going to look that good. Like watching it isn't going to be cool, but I think just editing it and seeing it come together was the best part. Yeah.
How long did like the choreo part take? Like the whole process?
Well, the filming took 1 day, so the whole time I was working on Zenith, I don't know, 2 months, or I don't know how long but like, it was a while. It was a while. We met over 5 times, but not all the dancers could be there at the same time, so it was a little complicated, but it took a while.
That was amazing. Also, how did you do the like editing thing at the end credits for like the kind of like glitching?
Ooh, that is an effect. I think it's called posterize or posterized time, and then it's like layering. I forgot how I did it, but it's like I doubled it and then changed the opacity, so it's kind of like an echo thing. Because their movements were so smooth that I kind of wanted to make it like glitchy in a way. Yeah.
I was curious, like how you shot it. Like, did you have music? Like, on a speaker while they did it?
Yeah, we had a little tiny speaker, but it was loud enough for them to hear, and then there was only 1 take of the whole thing, so I just had to line it up with the music, and that was kind of it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask also why you decided to do the shot.
So it was kind of an ambitious decision. Like Mr. Taylor was telling me I should get some backup footage, which we tried to get, but their movement was so fluid that I wanted the camera to be fluid, if that makes sense, and just follow them. And the point, I don't know if you guys got this, but like she's like longing for something. That's the emotion that I wanted to portray. I feel like the camera going in and out was kind of just helping in a way, like drag the story. But plus, I don't know what I would cut to, if that makes sense. Like I didn't want to just get close or something. So it's the first time I've ever done like a real 1 take thing. So yeah.
You said, so what would you change?
Yeah, there are a few things I would change. I think I would maybe make her costume stand out a little bit more, because it wasn't totally clear she was the main character along the front. We had originally that she would be covered in fake blood by the end, but I was too stressed. I brought the fake blood on the day we shot, and I was like, it might make a mess, so we didn't do that. I kind of wish I did that. And you can see my shadow during it. You guys probably didn't notice, but I'm holding the camera for part of it, which I wish, I don't know how I would fix that because of the lighting, but that is something that I wish I figured out how to fix. But yeah.
I'm kind of curious if you did any research on like copyright laws and stuff.
Yeah, I researched her, just the artist, her like, I heard her song in a movie trailer once, and then I was trying to figure out how to get the rights to the song, and I don't think I could post it really, but just because it's not my music, but just for the presentation I kept the song in. But yeah, she never responded.
How did you edit the music at all in the, like different EQs or anything like that?
Yeah, so the song's actually 5 minutes long, and I don't know if you guys can hear the cut, but I did cut the song in half, and like there's a part where it just changes all of a sudden. And that I had to transition, I used some transitions, and then I added a little bit more bass to like the dramatic part of it. So just barely changed it, but I shortened it. Yeah.
Is there anything you learned from the project about like filming this type of video that you want to apply to your feature films?
That's a good question. I think I had never experimented with lighting, and although I didn't use like artificial lighting, I had an app that said where the sun would be when we were filming, and Ethan taught me the trick to like measure how much sun, and that is weirdly a skill that I'm gonna use when I'm filming, because you know, CJ, we've been film partners. Like when we show up to set, we're like, oh, we just need daylight, but we didn't pay attention to where the sun was, and I think it mattered for this a little bit, because if they were in the dark or if they were backlit, it would have been completely different. So I'm gonna pay attention to the sun when I'm filming. Yeah.
How do you think you would have implemented like the blood at the end if you had the time to do it?
So our plan was, there's a part where she runs off camera and it's just an empty field. She would put on a jacket that was covered in blood, and then her face would be covered in blood, and she was supposed to just lay there, and they would all huddle over her. If that, like it would have been, she's just a bloody mess, and they all would have huddled over her, like intimate but gory in a way.
That would have been intense.
It would have been a little intense. Yeah.
So, how much input did you have into the actual choreography?
So I kind of let her do her thing, but there were definitely parts that I was adamant on like keeping in the story, like them all falling onto each other, the part where they're like running and like fake running, that I wanted. We would meet and I would say, this is how the story goes, and how can you make that into dance? And so I watched her do it, and I'd say, I don't like this, I don't like that. So I did have control, but I'm not a choreographer, so I just let her do the thing a little bit. Okay.
Do you have any like dancing experience?
This would be a very different thing if I was a, that's why I wanted to do it though, because I love watching dance. Dance specialists are so talented, so if I